Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear friends, if Allah gives us 60 years to live, then it comes to around 22,000 days. All these days Allah gives us to prepare for one day of interview with Him. That is on the Day of Judgment. On that day, Allah will ask us some questions and He wants some correct answers. Allah is so merciful that He already told us what the questions will be through the Quran and Hadith. His mercy is so great that He can even told us the answers to these questions. Now imagine, a student goes to write an exam. He opens his exam paper and finds the questions on one side. Then he finds the answer to those questions on the other side. Now after writing the exam, if the student still fails, then what would we think of him? We would think that he is the dumbest person around. Well, tell you what, on the Day of Judgment, us people who knew the questions and answer will still fail. That is why this is the time to wake up before we prove ourselves to be the dumbest of people. Youth is the prime time of our lives. This is where people make important decisions like what to become in the future. Things you do in this time will most likely affect you throughout the rest of your life. That is why it is important to bring Islam into your life during these days. Many people have concepts that when they get old, then they will start practicing Islam. Probably you and me also have the same feeling. But look at it this way. If you want to become a famous hockey player, then you would start playing right from the youth. As you grow up, you will become better and better. But if you think that you will start playing when you are an old man, then the chances of becoming famous are pretty much zero. That's the reality. When we become old, we won't have enough energy to even stand up and pray. Because youth is the prime time of your life, that is why it is very precious to Allah. Allah has prepared a shade on the Day of Judgment for those who used to worship Allah in their youth. On that day, there will be no other shade except the shade from the throne of Allah. Imagine standing outside on a very hot day under the sun for hours after hours. And right at that moment, you would wish that you had somewhere to go under for a shade. But what about the day when the sun will be much nearer to us and the heat will be much more extreme? Wouldn't you want some shade on that day? Of course you would. You and I are all weak in terms of keeping our duties to Allah, and Allah is aware of that. Allah wants that we keep trying to do our best. If a baby falls down while walking, he tries to get up again and walk. He doesn't keep sitting down. Then a day comes when he does start to walk. Similarly, we should keep trying our best and not give up. A day will come when inshallah we will be strong enough to obey Allah in every situation. Let us make a small promise to Allah right now that we will start doing the things for which we are sent to do this in life. Otherwise, we will be like that dumbest guy who will fail the test on the judgment day. I make dua and I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes it easy for us to understand the purpose of our life and take this youth seriously, and that will be helpful for us on the Day of Judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.